The problem men have today is we've been educated that women are equal. There was a sense that men are the providers. This is the role you provide over
Right,
here, right?
right.
And then if you didn't provide that role, you get kicked the hell out and say, "All right, you ain't cooperating. That's it." Or if he was an alcoholic and abusive, he loses. That's what divorce used to be. But when no fault divorce came in, then it changed the game and it swung the pendulum
Mhm.
swiftly to the point where now our generation and younger, we're dealing with the realities of these women are equal, but I owe them child support. I got to fight for my kids. They get alimony, but we're equal in society. It doesn't make sense.
Research has found that more women initiate divorce than men, and up to 70% of no-fault divorces are started by women. In the United States, no-fault divorces are legal in all 50 states, and research estimates put the figure of women starting divorce proceedings at 70%, while in the UK, 62% of divorces are started by women. Researchers are saying that women's independence is the reason why more women now want to initiate divorce, and that it is due to feminism that women have such a high number in this particular statistic. According to a BBC article, many women's expectations when they enter marriage may fail to match reality. Experts say that they often have a higher expectation of how a partner will meet their emotional needs than men, which can lead to disappointment post-wedding. Here's another statistic that will shock you. Most women get primary custody of children in the vast majority of divorce cases. So women may feel they have less to lose when filing for divorce compared to men. And in some ways, they are right. Evidence shows men's well-being tends to drop much more dramatically immediately following a divorce. This shows that men are more likely to be worse off than ever before after marriage. And this is one of the reasons why more and more men are avoiding marriage. The research also adds that men tend to get lonelier after a divorce, while women are more likely to find a partner and settle down with another man. Coming to no-fault divorces. No-fault divorce is a type of divorce where the applicant or applicants don't need to provide reasons to the law for filing for divorce. This means that anyone can file for divorce at any time and not give any reason for doing so, and the state does not legally need any reason from them to pursue the divorce case. Historically, men were the primary wage earners. Women desired these rich, resourceful men. Society has changed dramatically since then. Nowadays, women are earning money at high rates. In some cases, they are the breadwinners, out-earning their husbands. This is an issue for women desiring a partner who is wealthy and more successful than they are. Being the breadwinner also tends to lead to relationship dissatisfaction for married women who earn more than their husbands and achieve a higher status. It's even worth it to say that the safe way a man can get married is if the woman makes more and there are no children. When I say safe, I mean financially. Unless you're a Cha or slash Tyrone, you won't be respected at all. Also, you're going to have to lower your beauty standards. No pretty woman is even noticing a non-Chad that makes less than her. It just isn't worth it. The problem men have today is that we've been educated that men and women are equal. There was this sense and understanding that men are providers where they are the breadwinners for the family, as well as their protectors from other men or from the evils of society. And if you don't provide that role, you'd get kicked out of your community. Or if the man is an alcoholic or an abuser, he'd be divorced. So that's what divorce used to mean for men. But now, after the feminist no-fault divorce phenomenon, it has changed the game entirely. Now, the men of this generation and the next who have been brought up in the era of feminism, and who are made to believe that men and women are equal, have to then also pay for child support. They have to pay for alimony, fight for their kids, while the society tells everyone that men and women are equal. That doesn't make sense if you think about it. There's nothing in such a situation. Why would a guy marry someone knowing that there's like a 70% chance he will end up no-fault divorced, and then everything he has worked hard for since the last 20 years is probably going to be taken away from him? Men are avoiding marriage because they know that no matter what happens between them and their wives, the justice system is most likely going to see them as the guilty ones and punish them for it. Men are avoiding marriage because they know they can instead spend more peaceful lives without women. They know that there's no point coming home to a woman because she's not even going to be there, and B, she's only going to complain and whine. The empowering responsibility to be providers no longer exists for men, and this was the biggest reason men used to get married in the first place. No matter where you are, and no matter what age group you belong to, always know that it's not necessary that once you're married happily, it's going to stay like that forever. Women need constant validation, which I personally believe is just a cop-out for not being content with who they are at certain points in their lives and not truly being in control of their own emotions. Guys need to understand that you can't place your wife on a pedestal because it will be the standard you establish for her and what she will take for granted for the rest of her life. Therefore, if anything even slightly changes, she'll think you're a horrible guy and go off with the other men for validation. They need to be with women who are self-assured and don't need constant validation all the time. Guys aren't robots or mind readers. And guys, when a woman like this enters your life, you know what to do. Don't be loose and allow her to cross your boundaries. Respect them and respect yourself. If only women in their prime knew what they would be called if they didn't go against the laws of nature, they would spend their 20s a lot differently than they do now. They wouldn't chase the bad boys with the tattoos, they wouldn't party around and ride the carousel, and they would focus on starting a family. We can say with certainty that no matter what men and women achieve in this world, the basic and undisturbed laws of human nature remain unchanged. There are some things that were meant to be, and no matter how much men and women may try, in the end, the truth can only be what nature intends for men and women, their functions, and the way they live. Statistics, data, and studies are useless to modern women. When you read their online rants about how older gentlemen prefer younger women, or that they'd like to be alone, you might think they're crazy. They feel we are speaking from an ideological standpoint, which is obviously not the case, but they need to be more informed. Guys are elementary beings who only seek to be loved, admired, and respected. On the other hand, women constantly expect the very best from every male. Despite all the talk about equality, they don't try to achieve it. We all know that the legal system is designed to work in favor of women and use men's resources to pay for their financial expenses for the rest of their lives. Women were never aligned with their men in what they wanted to achieve in life, and there have been many cases where women had actually planned to marry wealthy men, only to divorce them and live off of divorce money without having to work for the rest of their lives. Women have deceived men into marriage only to take away their resources. A lot of the credit goes to the MGTOW movement that allowed men to share their experiences and opened each other's eyes regarding the true nature of women. With no-fault divorce, the power is in women's hands, and they tend to abuse it to get rich quickly and move on with their lives. This is why more men are not getting married. This is why more men don't want to get into committed relationships with women. With circumstances such as these, I don't blame them. I would do the same and stay away from marriage. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.